Well, hello and welcome to week 7. Can you believe we just have a few more weeks together and you guys are doing so wonderful in all of the assignments and the information that we're covering in regards to social justice and cultural diversity. So, as we move into week 7, I wanted to start off this discussion with a weekly verse. I thought this was very fitting for this week, and it's always nice to have nice, heartfelt reminders of how God would love for us to serve Him and others. So, coming from Mark chapter 12, verse 29 through 31, it's the New Living Translation. The most important commandment is this: the Lord our God is the one and only Lord, and you must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, and all your strength. The second is equally important: love your neighbor as yourself. No other commandment is greater than these. And so, as I said, it's always nice to have that reminder that we have to give God our all in all things. More times than not, we ask for something, or we seek guidance, or we need strength or perseverance, and we say that we give it to God, but do we give it all to Him? Because we still take back the worry. We still want to talk about it with others. We still want to ask questions. And don't get me wrong, God's love and the glory and the grace that He gives to us is the utmost of what you could compare to any type of love when you talk about infinity and beyond. But more times than not, we still question that love. And so if we're giving it all to Him, then we have to remember in all things, that's our heart, deep in our soul, our mind. What are we thinking? Are we speaking to things? Are we putting them out into fruition? Are we holding on to them because we know God is working through them? And we don't need to necessarily give each and every person that we come across a laundry dump of all of these things, but knowing that we've given it to God and that He's taking it and He's doing something. And that's where all of our strength comes from, knowing that we have that armor of God that's protecting us. What is the second most important, or equally as important, when we talk about the commandments, and this is specifically from Mark, it's also referencing loving thy neighbor. And so it's always good to just remind that we need to operate and live out of love and do all things with love. So those frustrations that we might have encountering others and situations that we don't have any control over, just remember that we don't always have to teach, preach, or lecture. We can love and work through some of those things with love, and you will find that by putting God first and by loving others, things just seem to find a way to work themselves out. So I hope that encourages you for week 7. Moving into the assignments. So I have posted the second part of the discussion with Farah. It was amazing. Unfortunately, her schedule didn't allow for us to do it in person, so we tried to do it virtually. You will see a little bit of static or fuzziness, but you will hear her message, and she had such amazing, great information to share. So I hope you take the time to actually listen to her lecture and her discussion and gain some insight from that. For this week, you will still have your chapter readings, and so that continues on with chapter 15 and 16. You have 2 PowerPoints. They're quite lengthy. I'm not going to pull them up in this lecture. You know where they are. You know how to access them. Very important that you access and review each and every slide, because it gives you great insight and information in regards to what you are reading in your textbook. So I would say glance over it, look at the components as they're outlined, read your chapters, and then come back and review it again and see if there's clarification or better understanding from the information that was covered. In addition to those two chapters, don't forget you really want to make sure that you are reviewing the article that is attached in your reading for the week. It's culturally sensitive social work practice with Arab clients in mental health settings. It's about 29 pages, but let me tell you, very informational and covers a lot of great information in great detail and will give you even more insight than what you have already began to obtain with the information that you've learned over these past 6 weeks. I have to say, your awareness papers were absolutely amazing. Every time I start a class, I always boast about it being a learning journey for not only you as students, but myself as the professor as well, because we never stop learning. I always share with others that I will always be a lifelong learner. I am currently in a doctorate program right now because I truly believe that there are always opportunities to learn more, grow more, and give more. And so it was really nice to see that you guys really took the requirements of this assignment and really worked at meeting that requirement. And I saw it in so many different ways. And your interviews, I love that so many of you stepped out of your comfort zone and took an opportunity to interview people that you wanted to learn more information about. And it seemed as though you truly were able to gain amazing insight and build that awareness that's going to help you not only as an individual, and we were able to see that in your self reflections, but also in serving others in your career or the profession that you choose if you're not currently working. But what was interesting is because I work out with a personal trainer, and it's not just me by myself, it's a few others, but she posts a lot of things that she does on social media. And so not too long ago, I was watching her IG story, and it showed her at Mount Rubidoux, and it looked as though once she got to the top, that it was this mass type of experience with a lot of people. And so I've had the opportunity to hike Mount Rubidoux before, but I've never experienced anything like that. Well, in the awareness paper, one of you interviewed an individual that spoke of that tradition, and it is a great tradition for the Hispanic culture and done on the last day of November. And the cross or Virgin Mary is carried to the top of the of Mount Rubidoux, and then there is a mass where families join together in memory and respect of those that have gone before them, especially the Jesus Christ dying on the cross for our sins. And it's a thankfulness type of love and respect. And I'm probably not giving it any justice, but it was so interesting that I was able to gain even more insight from an experience that I had seen and wasn't quite sure of how that occurred. How did a mass take place on the top of Mount Rubidoux? And it helped me to better understand what that meant. And I look forward to the opportunity next year of being able to participate in that and truly gain personal experience of something that's so near and dear and valuable to a culture that we uh, see and interact with each and every day. And so, even more so, what I was able to gain just a heartwarming feeling behind was the sense of, in each interview, many of the cultures talked about family togetherness and family love and family support. And it's just nice to see that those things kind of cross over into different cultures. And for some of you, you were able to better relate and see similarities, which expanded your knowledge and helped your relationship even more with that individual. What I also loved in seeing in your papers was a few of you stepped out on faith and interviewed family members from step parents to grandparents. And I just love what you gained from that experience and how you shared that in your reflection. So great job. And that leads us right into this week of as we still look at and really dive into more cultural backgrounds. And so when we really look in the textbook and with our PowerPoints and with the attached article, we're looking at Arab and Muslims American clients and South Asian American clients. And so as you've seen over the weeks, we've had opportunities to look at different cultures and to really try to gain more insight and understanding of those individuals. And so I really pray that this is touching you in a way that you're able to take this information and reflect on it, process it, and it helps you to be even more enlightened in your experiences of working with others in different cultures and really seeing the value of bringing those different cultures together with an understanding of the value system and drawing off of those values to really create things that can be amazing. And it doesn't take one mind, one purpose. It's a collective group of experiences, knowledge, and skills and abilities that really make the success and excellence that is sought out in any profession. And so I encourage you to just really take that information and see how you can share with others and or allow you to reflect in those situations where you find yourself not being comfortable, but being able to step out of your comfort zone. Once you do your readings, once you listen to the lectures, which will be this lecture, and include in addition to the discussion with Farah, you will also have to do a discussion board for week 7. So I hope that you are working on your critical assignment as well, because that will come very quickly in week 8, and I will touch on that right now as well. But first off, I want to talk about the discussion board. So this will be your week 7 discussion. And the question that will be asked is, in keeping this discussion and dialogue going, um, we want you to answer the question, what cultural considerations must be made when working with Arab and Muslim American clients? What cultural considerations must be made when working with South Asian American clients? And I just really want to hear from you, not so much as I am have said in the past, is I'm not looking for you to um, evaluate of who's right or wrong, or if they spoke to it in a way that you liked or preferred, but really to dig deep and to have a discussion on what that means. Is that something that you have always been comfortable with? Do you have to work at it? In working at it, how do you do that? What actions do you take? Because those things are what will be helpful for others that do have some concerns of interacting with others. I've shared in other discussions or lectures that San Bernardino County has had some hard hitters in regards to instances of dealing with adversity and experienced a terror attack. Um, this was our 4th year of memory and remembrance of December 2nd that just occurred the beginning of last week. And so when we talk about the different cultures, often because of experiences, we can begin to build unaware or hidden biases or feelings about certain cultures and not even realize that we are implying some of those isms that come with that. And so really near and dear to my heart and kind of just moving forward through such a tragic type of experience and really it hitting so close to home for my work family that we have to really look to seek more understanding and clarity in regards to help us to remove those biases or those perceptions that we might internalize and not even realize that that's what's happening. And so I encourage you, if you do or have experience, I know a few of you do work for San Bernardino County and you truly know and understand what I'm speaking to, but I'm hoping that through this class and other ways of building and gaining more insight to the beauty that comes with each culture, and that looking at each individual independently and gaining that love and respect of loving thy neighbor, whether you understand or not, to still say, I don't know and I don't understand because I've never walked in your shoes. And so I'm going to try to understand and have compassion and empathy in your experiences to better build that relationship that is needed for us to either work together or help them identify services or needs um, that they are seeking. And so, looking forward to hearing from your discussion. I do want to take a little bit of time in this lecture to touch on week 8 because you only have a discussion this week. So, you really should be using that time to help you prepare for your week 8 critical assignment. A couple of things that I want to point out. We are coming up very quickly to the end of this term. Now, with that, I am on very crucial timelines when it comes to getting your last bit of work graded and getting your final grades calculated. A few of you have outreach to me because you have missing assignments and you don't understand why your grades are what they are. When you do not turn something in, it is counted as 0. So when you take the collective of points, what's going to happen is it'll get a huge drop in percentage just by missing one assignment. So if you have missing assignments, even if you're going to get marked down for late, I suggest that you get them in right away. When we get into next week, which is week 8, you will not have time to turn in late work. I have to have everything submitted by the by and before the end of the week. And so anything that's not submitted by that deadline, you have to complete your critical assignment part 3, and it's due Wednesday next of the following week. So this Wednesday is December 11th. So it is due by December 18th. Your critical assignment, again, is due by Wednesday, December 18th. I cannot have late assignments submitted due to the system being completely shut down as of Monday morning. So grades have to be in prior to that. So I cannot have any work lingering out there. You will have time to do your discussion board all the way up till Friday, December 20th. So those deadlines are very crucial for week 8. In week 8, you will have your readings as you always do. So you will finish out the term with finishing out the textbooks, chapter 17 and 18, working with white ethnic clients, and then some closing thoughts as well. You will also have a discussion that is due Friday, again, Friday, December 20th, no later. What cultural considerations must be made when working with white ethnic clients? What do you feel is the most important lesson you have learned in this course regarding cultural sensitivity as a human services provider? How can the biblical perspective be useful in conjunction with this knowledge? And just like all your other discussions, you have to respond to at least 2 of your classmates as well. You will be giving me your actual presentation, and that is due by Wednesday, December 18th. It's a 20-minute multimedia presentation on one of those following populations that we have been looking into and researching over these past 8 weeks. And you will look at it and address all the components that are listed here. Current socio-demographics of the group, major trends, review of the beliefs and stereotypes about the group throughout history, an analysis of how beliefs and stereotypes have been maintained and continue to thrive today, a history of how the group has been treated in the United States. I want content on legal, political, economic, and education oppression the group has experienced. So this can go on and on and on. You're going to need to really hone in on what that is specifically that you are addressing and be able to meet all of these components for your presentation. I want an overview of values and norms, and I want to know what the strengths of the group, the positive coping and resiliency of the groups is. I want 5 to 7 additional scholarly resources included. When you wrote your first paper, many of you questioned when I did not give full credit when there was only 5 scholarly sources. If we want excellent work, excellent scholarly supporting evidence of research and lit review in regards to the information that you're studied, 7 is minimum. So if you want to get the highest possible points, and please refer to your rubric for this, then I want to see more than 5 scholarly references. I want to see 7 or more, and look at all of these components to make sure that you're hitting all of them to get your full points. I look forward to looking at your final presentations. You guys have done an amazing job over this past 7 weeks thus far. I know you will move into your final week with great success. And if you have any questions, if there's any concerns, if there's anything that you're not sure about, please outreach to me, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Again, have a wonderful and blessed week. And I look forward to you being successful not only this week with your assignments, but as you close out into early next week with all that needs to be done and moving into the Christmas holiday and a wonderful new beginning of 2020. Can you believe we're in 2020? It just blows my mind. But take care, God bless, and have a wonderful week. Goodbye.